Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Valpo Basketball Preview, along with head coach Matt Loddick. I'm Todd Eichow, and, you can start by what a ball game this past week, the victory over Rhode Island, and one of the great atmospheres, I think, at the Arc in many, many years, and one of the great overall wins at home, I think, in maybe the last 20 years or so. In fact, first time you beat a ranked team at home since the 80s, so that's how long it has been. And really, overall, a spectacular basketball game.
Yeah, proud of the environment, proud of the young men that we have on our team, proud of the toughness, the resiliency. We have a competitive bunch. I sound like a broken record when I say that, but they're very competitive. They love playing together. They love playing, for Valparaiso University. And when you have young men united like that are tough, they're a tough team to beat. So. There
was a point early on this season where I think there was some concern against teams that you should have handled easily, and you didn't. And I point to one player in particular, Tavon Walker, was not in those games. And now we have seen the difference he makes. He was outstanding on both ends of the court against Rhode Island.
Yeah, Tavon's got a level of athleticism that's very high, and he can match high-level athletes that typically bigger conference schools have those athletes, especially on the perimeter. So Tavon's ability to do that, and his just innate toughness brings a lot to our team. And when he's playing the way he has been playing, we're a tough team.
In each of the last 2 years, when you get into conference play, in the non-conference, you hadn't played many close ball games.
Yeah.
And I think what's really important, not only the scheduling difficult opponents to help you RPI and help challenge your team and everything, is you're playing close ball games, and that's going to help when you do get in close ball games in conference.
No, absolutely. We put together a schedule that we thought would make us be able to play our best basketball by the end of the year. I've said, we have bigger goals than, beating Rhode Island at home, and, we want to advance in the postseason, and, we want to put ourselves in a position to play teams that are also want to advance in the postseason. So, beating a team like Rhode Island, who I have nothing bad to say about them. I think they're very well coached. They have fantastic players, and they're going to make some noise in the NCAA tournament. And so, beat a quality team like that, says a lot about, where we are right now, but also, that we are capable of achieving the goals that we've set.
If there is one concern right now, I've got to think it's got to be the bench.
Yeah.
Can you get production out of the bench? You are playing 9 guys, but really in crunch time, it's been a 6-man rotation, and really the overall production from the bench right now is not where it needs to be.
No, but our bench is young, and so for us, and obviously Derek had a moment against Ball State. There will be moments. Jay's, giving us some fantastic minutes, although, sometimes it doesn't show up on the scoreboard, but, changing shots at the rim, having some toughness. And then, Micah Bradford, I think he'll have, a moment where he comes in and can hit 4 or 5 threes. He's got that type of talent. So, but everyone I mentioned is a freshman. And so getting them some game experience and getting them really comfortable and ready by conference, that's the goal.
Is there anything you'll do differently? Keep playing with some in the first half and see if somebody plays well in the first half, they get a shot in the second half? Is that basically where we're at right now?
Yes and no. For me, it really just comes down to a feel, especially in the second half. But I've been really happy with the progression that they've all made in games, but especially in practice. They've really started to get down the defensive schemes, which I think is pretty much the last thing to come for a lot of young players. And so if they're in the right position defensively and they're competing, there's no reason why they can't play in the second half.
Yeah, you said they're just freshmen. Now you look at your game on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
It's Kentucky.
Yep.
And they've been ranked number 1. They're not ranked number 1 anymore because UCLA beat them.
Right. They're beatable.
It just shows they're beatable. They have 3 spectacular freshmen who all could be lottery picks this year.
Yep.
From a pure talent standpoint, they might be the most talented team in the country.
Oh, they're awfully talented. They're very well coached. They have 7 McDonald's All-Americans on their team. There's no doubt there's a lot of talent there. We're going to play in a full packed crowd that's loud. So, the best thing about that, though, is, the team that we have. And just the goals that we have, the toughness that we have. I know our guys are really excited and looking forward to the opportunity.
It is a team that is kind of built to play in the hostile environment because they're a veteran team and they've played a lot of tough teams. Obviously, it was not it was not the game you'd hoped for at Oregon, but this
Right.
is, this is kind of almost a second chance to show that you belong against top teams. Obviously, it's going to be difficult to win, but I think you expect it. I expect it. I think everybody in the program expects a much better performance than what you had at Oregon.
At Oregon, anytime you play on the road in that type of environment, we say you're playing 8-on-5. The refs aren't going to necessarily give you a favorable whistle. I thought that at Oregon, there were some questionable calls that really hurt us, turning points in the game. So, but we got to control what we can control. Right now, I think that they're fantastic on the offensive glass. They're really good getting out in transition. So there's some things that we can do. But ultimately, we've got to get better in that game. We've got to play the way that we want to play. Try to control tempo, and if we do that, we can have a shot.
All right, best of luck. I'm sure the kids are excited.
Oh, absolutely. We're all excited.
Good luck this week, man.
Thank you.
For head coach Matt Loddick, I'm Todd Eichow. Thanks for joining us this week on Valpo Basketball Preview.